Welcome to Life Esteem, a program committed Welcome to Life Esteem, a program committed to delivering information to you and your community.
Hello and welcome again to Life Esteem. We're always looking forward to having you as a guest to this program because we have fantastic people to come on and tell you all about what's happening in Harrisburg. And today is no exception because we had a Catherine Hershey School. In fact, it's the Catherine Hershey, is it school for preschool? What's the full title?
Catherine Hershey Schools for Early Learning.
Early Learning, that's what it is. Fantastic. And this is relatively brand new to the Harrisburg area, but I understand it's also going into Middletown. And yeah, this is good stuff. Fantastic. So tell us all, first off, our guests are Lindsay, as you can see, Lindsay Knopp, right? And also Jessica Knaub. And I'm so glad to have you both here. God bless, okay? So tell us about the Catherine Hershey School here in Harrisburg, and then let's talk about what's going on in Middletown.
Wonderful. So we are the Catherine Hershey Schools for Early Learning. We opened last year in October for our first center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And then this year we opened our second center in Harrisburg, with Middletown being our third center starting this year in 2025. We've been very fortunate to open these sites where we serve children 6 weeks to 5 years old prior to them going to kindergarten. We are an all-cost covered program for our families, and we are open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Good stuff.
I mean, that's really awesome. I mean, be able to have that opportunity for a number of these families. And if I understand it correctly, because Lindsay, we've talked a number of times, and I actually had the opportunity to visit, the Hershey, Center. Had a really wonderful tour. I mean, it's an awesome facility. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't talk enough about all that you've done there. But one of the things that you had shared, that a lot of the parents work with you. So talk about that, because one of the things you want to do, Jessica, is recruit.
Absolutely, yeah. So as Lindsay mentioned, the Middletown location will be opening later this year. So we'll be serving 150 children at that location, the same ages, 6 weeks to 5 years of age. And when we enroll a child, we enroll the whole family. So really looking for families who could benefit from that costs-covered program that we offer, but being able to support them with their own goals. So having them partner with our family success team, which is a part of the staff that is at each of our locations, so that we can help them work on their own personal goals.
Fantastic. Good stuff.
Well, Jessica, about how many staff do you have that will be at the Middletown location, you think?
So Middletown is a staff of about 80 individuals.
Wow. Okay.
So that staff will really encompass the core teaching team. So we have 3 teachers assigned to every classroom. We have a number of our family success advocates who work directly with each of our families. We have our operations team, which will focus on our security, preparing the food, serving all of the meals, and then just cleaning crew. So a lot of operational roles that we're actually just going to start posting and hiring for. And then our health services team. So we have an entire team that's just dedicated to making sure that the students are getting everything they need from a health standpoint, both developmental as well.
Absolutely.
I gotta tell you, I was driving down the street one day and I thought, what is this? There's this building going up in Harrisburg. And uptown Harrisburg is bad. I said, okay. And then when I realized, because I've been to the Hershey site for, Catherine Hershey, and I I said, oh, it's coming to Harrisburg. And I heard it was coming to Harrisburg, but it came to Harrisburg. Yeah. It's a beautiful site. So tell us how that's going down there.
Sure. So our Harrisburg site is serving 150 children. So that, again, birth to 5 years old. In there, as Jessica shared, we have 3 teachers in each of our classrooms. We keep some very low ratios so our children get high quality early learning with the support of our education team as well as others. We're able to do some health services. We have a nurse on site and some other supports that our children can access on a daily basis. And then just to share a little bit more about the family work that we're able to do. While the children are in the classrooms, we're able to support the families on things like their educational goals, their employment goals. We can help in some home visiting and some support in the home setting for them. And then what we also want to do is we want to empower our families to grow and to meet those goals that with some coaching they can achieve. And so we've had families buy homes, we've had families go back to school, and so it's been really neat to see that while the children are in our center, we can also come alongside and help those families as well to
So
grow.
is there an income level that they have to meet in order to qualify for the program?
We do. We have a minimum income eligibility that we look at time of enrollment. We also need that child to be in our age range. And then we do look at our families committing to a few things, year-round attendance and participation with us, those home visits, and really looking to join our community here at CHS.
Beautiful, wonderful, wonderful. And so do you also work closely with the, surrounding school districts to, because you're making that transition into, right? So how does that work?
Yeah, and so we've been already in communication specifically with the Middletown and Steelton school districts right now because that's the location that we're going to be in. So we want to make sure that not only are we meeting with them to figure out, what exactly does the Middletown School District or the Steelton High Spire School District want to see from their children entering kindergarten, so that we can make sure that our programs are meeting those expectations, and so that we can do a really nice, easy transition from our program into those local school districts, so that we can just continue. Really, that focus is not only our children and our families, but community. So how can we impact the community, our school districts, by making sure we're working very closely together.
Fantastic.
Is there transportation available to the families?
We do have limited transportation at all of our locations.
Nice.
Okay, that's wonderful.
That's always a big issue for a lot of the urban centers, and that's rural for that matter as well. One of the things that I used to work with the United Way, the Capital Region, and when I was leaving there, we just started that initiative, first grade, kindergarten really, to third grade. And third grade was like that magical, right? So when you think about how you're preparing, the kids as well as the family structure and everything, how do you hope to impact? Because I understand that sometimes they're making predictions that a child will either be a graduate or not a graduate by third grade. I'm like, what? So that's a really critical thing that you're doing. So, what is, how do you explain this to the family, how important this is? And then when you make those connections to the school district, how is that transition, kind of? Because sometimes folks don't talk to one another, right? These professionals, but go ahead, either one.
That's a wonderful question. So what we're doing is we are looking at how can we help our families be successful in the school system. And we're fortunate to have them for those first couple years. So we're working on building routines, schedules, getting into that consistency, being on time, attending things like parent-teacher conferences, how to ask questions. We want to empower our parents to be able to ask questions and really be the best advocates for their children too, because I think that goes a long way with raising children. So when we come to working with our local school districts and our families, we really spend the whole last year that the child's with us, so that age of 4, where we're really working through their transition to school and really helping them figure out, does your school district offer transportation. How are you going to get there every day if this is the start time for your day, but this is when you have to be at your job? So how do we help them work through those pieces so that they can hit the ground running with success and from day one of kindergarten be ready to go, and do that problem solving, but also do that ability to ask those questions, and see what resources are out there for them so that they're already starting right there with their peers and ready to go and ready to learn. And so to do that, we want to get to know our school districts. So we attend events in our school district. We've worked with them on kindergarten registration, and we've really just gotten to know the communities that we're going to serve. And so that's a really neat piece too, because every community we're in is very different, and we want to get to know that community and the school districts that are a part of it.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Very good. And as you look at, and throughout the question right before we got started, so after Middletown, you're going where?
We're moving into Lancaster County.
In Lancaster County.
With 3 new sites that are planned.
3 new sites.
So New Danville is our next location, and then over the next few years, we have planned Elizabethtown and Lancaster City.
All right.
Yeah, man, okay. That's a commitment. No, really, really good. And when did all this start? Because this is about, what, maybe 10 years in, this whole thinking about the Catherine Hershey Schools? Or how long ago did all this kind of, begin to snowball?
Sure. So as an organization, we started our central office in 2022.
Oh, wow.
And this was part of an initiative of the Milton Hershey School. So we are fortunate to have the Milton Hershey School as our overseer. We're a subsidiary of them.
Okay.
And this was part of a $350 million initiative to start these 6 sites.
I said again, 350 million. I can't even think that big, okay? No, but this is fantastic, and I didn't realize it was that new, 2022. Wow, okay. I thought this was something that went way back.
So
But-
there was some prior work a couple years ahead, but as an organization, we really started there. And our Hershey site opened first, which is really 2023. We started bringing on children, and now 2024 for Harrisburg with 2025 for Middletown. So we are growing and really expanding, and that's the really neat part of these communities that we get to join, and how well received it's been to join these communities.
I was your speaker down at Hershey for when you first opened. They asked me to come in and speak, and I thought, well, this isn't good because, what? You need someone bigger to be here. But it was great, a great experience to meet the staff, to see what you're, trying to do. But I thought this was something that was like way out, This is really, really new. So I'm hoping that the community really embraces it. So how can the community best help you, be the best program that you want to be? And I'm talking about the greater Harrisburg community, the parents, people who don't even have children to go there, but they want to be involved, because this can be really good for every community that it's in. So how can we best help you?
And I think I would first answer that by allowing us to come help them.
Okay.
We know we are in a blessed position to have the legacy of Milton and Catherine Hershey supporting this initiative. So while we started very recently, obviously we're building on that over 100-year legacy of Milton and Catherine Hershey and the Milton Hershey School. So we've got a lot of really great history that we work with. But being able to just let the community know who we are, that we are different than the Milton Hershey School. We are a non-residential early childhood program. So we want to make sure that families hear about what we have to offer, because the greatest way those communities can allow us to support them is by getting the word out that it's an opportunity for children and families to be a part of. So making sure that they know enrollment is open, and we're accepting applications at Middletown, but also for every year we'll need to fill the graduate students' roles and spots. So we are always enrolling at Harrisburg and Hershey. So we just need to know that we're here, and we have spots available for new children every year.
I'm glad that you're empowering the families, because a lot of times, I've worked as a counselor in the district, but one of the things that happens is parents don't show up sometimes, and it's because they're afraid. I don't have the education they have. They're going to talk down to me, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. So, getting these parents empowered, I really love that idea. And you said some of them said, I can go to college myself, or I can get a better education myself. So it's not just the child, it's the family.
Yes.
I think that's fantastic. We didn't even mention where you're actually located in Harrisburg. What's your address?
Sure. So in Harrisburg, we're at 6th and Minnick. In Hershey, we're right off of 322.
Okay.
And Homestead Road. And then if you want to share about Middletown.
Yeah, Middletown is the big, beautiful building still under construction at the corner of Oberlin and Fulling Mill.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
fantastic.
okay.
Now,
That
in
area.
Hershey, weren't you located right next to the Hershey Theater or something like that, or you still do?
Oh, so that was our training site when you
Training
would have
site.
come.
Okay,
And so our school is located right across from the Milton Hershey campus at the 322 and Homestead location. So we are very fortunate to have these new centers and for our children and our families. So as you were talking about the families, we have a space for our families to come in. And really, we want to empower our families to also feel welcomed in our buildings. So we have a space for them to be able to work, meet with their staff, and have that same opportunity as their children do to have their own location in our buildings too. And so each of our buildings have that opportunity for the families to come in and feel welcomed and a part. And so hopefully we're empowering them to ask those questions and partner with their teachers and their family success advocates.
Now, Jessica said that you indicated you want to talk about possible opportunities that are going to be available. So how can people start putting in, okay?
yeah.
Applications or something to be a part of the Middletown location?
That's fantastic. So we have a website.
All right.
So chslearn.org is really the place where anyone can go to just learn more about what we're doing.
Okay.
It's a place where you can access our admissions applications for all 3 locations, and also a place where people who are interested in employment can go. And Middletown, like I said, is still hiring some of our positions, but New Danville is our next location, getting ready to start our nearly year-long paid professional development program, which the Middletown team is in currently.
Okay.
So New Danville is going to start all of that hiring. So I want to make sure that people know that that's an opportunity as we step into that Lancaster County community.
Wonderful.
My biggest concern, and I know your co-partner over there,
Sean.
Sean.
Sean and I want to know whether or not you have a football team. So
I think they frown upon putting the babies in the helmet.
oh, well, Sean, we will work on that, man.
Milton Hershey has a great football team.
Yeah,
So.
Well, that might be a great way for us to share, though. We do have a play-based approach. And so we really do focus our children's learning on that play-based environment. So we might not have a football team yet, but Jess, maybe you can share a little bit about play-based learning.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's a fantastic approach where we really let the children take the lead. So we build off of their interests. We do a lot of observation to see what they want to learn about, because the more invested children are in the topics, the more lengthy our projects and our investigations can become. But it's really structured around that play.
right.
Because what we know, and every kindergarten teacher I've spoken to really tells us that they want children to be able to come into their classroom with really good executive function skills. So what does that mean? That means they know how to problem solve, they know how to work with their peers, they know how to have some independence. And really that play-based approach, allowing the conflict resolution, allowing them to make free choice and decision, sets them really well up for a successful transition into kindergarten.
good stuff.
It is.
You know, unfortunately for some of our young people, they're coming from environments where they've seen some trauma, even at that early age and everything. So do you address some of that stuff, or how, is it through the play base, is that kind of addressing some of that, or is there another mechanism that you use?
Yeah, so research really does support the fact that this play-based approach helps children who have experienced trauma. But the other luxury of our program is we have our health services team. While our family success team can work with the family on some of those aspects that have driven the trauma possibly, or those needs for the family, our health services team is really well trained in developmental being able to support them developmentally, being able to support them mentally. So we're able to implement practices and things that we know are able to reduce some of that stress and the trauma that the children are coming in with.
Good stuff.
Well, let me ask you to further that on. As you have seen in Hershey and in Harrisburg and now coming up here in Middletown, what are some of the concerns you've had with the children or the families that you know that you need to make adjustments or do some things different? Anything come about that you said we need to further research or further look at how we can serve them better? Anything occur?
So we are always researching and evaluating because we are a newer program. Again, fortunate to have that background of the Milton Hershey School and all of their knowledge and experience. And so we have added into our program some data practices, some research, always looking to see what we can pivot and grow, really that continuous quality improvement. How can we help things improve? And so I think as we continue to work with families and continue to see patterns and ways that we can support, we're able to do that. But we're also really fortunate where we've built a model where we're able to support our families and children individually from the beginning. So those small classrooms, the family success advocates having small family support caseloads, we're able to really give individual attention from the very beginning and really do the same problem solving and support with our families and children that Jess was sharing takes place academically, we can do with our families too. So we're very fortunate to really jump in right away and work with everyone on an individual basis and be able to give the families what they need. And so it's really neat to see the growth that can happen with our families.
You know, one of the things that through Life Esteem, we've had parenting programs over the years and everything. And I used to run a fatherhood program. And we still have a very good program here in Harrisburg. But that's one of the issues that a lot of our children face oftentimes, that the father's not in the home or the family's kind of separated. Are both parents encouraged to, even if they're not, you know, necessarily together, to kind of get them all involved? And how does that work out for you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We want to work with, I mean, we've got mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles. I mean, we work with the whole family. As many people as want to be motivated to be a part of that child's life, we want to include them in that process.
Fantastic.
That's great.
And that's one of the reasons we use the term family success advocate, is we want to come alongside the family of that child. So who are these identified adults that come along that child?
It sounds like you use a system called the IEP. Do you have IEPs for each family, each child, or is that a little too soon?
That's a great, so we have goal setting with each of our families, and we want each family to really have that individualized plan based off of what they're interested in. So we meet with each family one-on-one and set their goals for the year, and we really help them go through that executive functioning process that Jess was sharing about and help them look at what they're interested in growing in, and we empower them to drive that process.
Good stuff. I'm telling you, this is exciting. If nothing else. In the fact that it's here and it's expanding in our region is just fantastic. So hats off to Milton Hershey, whoever's involved, all of the legacy and everything else, you know, good stuff. So one of the things that we always are concerned about too is making adjustments for students who are special, you know, have special needs, let's put it that way. And how do you address that? I'm sure you are, but I'm just wondering, you know, if a child comes and they say, well, here's, my child has this diagnosis or this physical, you know, how do you handle that?
Me take that one?
Sure.
So we interview our families. We have an entire process prior to enrollment because we know that we're able to serve a lot of children with diverse needs. What we want to make sure is that we are always the right fit for every family that is seeking enrollment. So that could look very different based on every child's individual needs. So we take that into account during the enrollment process. So we know, can we support these children with all of the extra resources that we have? Ultimately, we want it to be successful. So if we find out that we're not the place for the best support for that child, we do then still want to work with that family to say, here's some options, here's some things that maybe you could look into or want to explore. So we don't want to ever just leave someone without a resource. We want to support each child and each family to find the best educational place for them.
And that goes back to the whole notion of knowing community, knowing who's out there, collaborating, partnering. That's good. Good stuff. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we've had, I know in Harrisburg, we had, I think Lindsay, you came to the community partners meeting?
Yes.
And you shared with a lot of the providers that were available about the school, especially when one was opening up here in Harrisburg. And maybe it might be interesting to do something again for Milton for the Middletown as well, is to let them know those opportunities are available.
Yes, we could completely do that, share the materials, information. We are, I think you asked earlier, what are some ways that we can work with the community? We enjoy attending events, being able to share about our program, but also being in the communities that we're located in. So that's another great way that we are interested in collaborating, because with us being new, we know people have questions. So as Jessica shared our website earlier about careers and admissions, our website's also a great place that has all of our most current information, because we're adding to it as we open each center and as things progress in our program. So visiting chslearn.org is a great way to also communicate with us. There's emails on there for our comms and media department so that we can attend events, learn about events, but also to touch community partners that might be interested in working with us.
chslearn.org, is that what you
Yes,
said?
sir.
Okay, chslearn.org, let's get to that, okay?
Now, I just want to ask, your overall administrator is?
Senate Alexander.
Senate, I knew it was Senate, okay, but I
Yes.
couldn't think of his last name. Okay. Senate Alexander. And I know we have had conversations with him, because I think he was on one of our shows way back before, in the development of the Harrisburg, location. But, so he's over all of these sites that you're opening?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
He's the executive director.
Director.
Yes.
Okay, all of these, okay, wonderful.
Let's talk about reading. I know we're going to run out of time here, but how important is reading at this age? Do you actually encourage, reading and children and all that kind of stuff? Or?
At this age, with them being so young, the way we develop those early literacy skills is by involved with caretakers who are reading to the children, who are speaking to the children. So our centers are just full of books and opportunities. We actually send books home to all of our enrolled families so that we can help build that library at home. Because the way that we can develop that love of reading is really that instrumental piece in starting those early literacy skills.
Do you know Joe Bedard by any chance?
Yes.
You do know Joe, okay.
Yeah.
Because he's the man with the books, right?
He
It
is.
is fantastic, absolutely.
He always has a box with
Yes,
him.
he does.
Yep.
He most certainly does.
And he researches his books too.
Yes.
He knows the books, and so that's really good stuff. But I understand that's one of the real keys to success for early learning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Well, listen, I know we're going to run out of time, so listen, what haven't we talked about? What do the public need to know that we haven't covered at this point? Is there anything else you want to tell us?
I think just reiterating that we are opening for Middletown here. So the application will go live next week on our website, chslearn.org. That we will have our Harrisburg and Middletown application as well going live to continue to keep those centers full each year. And then in addition, if anyone is interested in those employment opportunities that we have across our centers, both the school operations roles, as Jessica shared, for Middletown, as well as we do have some openings at CHS Hershey and Harrisburg, as well as at our central office. So again, our website kind of has all of those current pieces, but we welcome anyone to visit them. We have a variety of roles, as well as that admissions piece if anyone's interested in enrolling a child in their life.
Good, good, good. So employment is really big. People are always looking for jobs. So we're talking about cafeteria workers, janitorial,
All of those roles.
all of
Everything.
those roles.
Everything.
So you hear that, folks? Come on now. This is an opportunity, right?
We've got lots of opportunities
Lots
for
of
families, children, and employment.
Fantastic. Well, listen, this is great stuff. I know we're going to run out of time, but thank you so much for coming on. And, we still have 2 minutes. Hey, we have 2 minutes.
What else do you want to talk about?
There you go. So what's
Oh,
really...
let me talk about Sean. Tell me, Sean, what's Sean's role?
Oh, sure. So Sean is our communications and marketing manager. Oh, media relations. Communications and media relations manager.
Fantastic.
So Sean really keeps us in line, make sure we have all of our wonderful blogs. So that would be
Now,
another.
come on over and stand behind them real quick so they can see what we're talking about. They keep saying, who's this mystical guy?
So
We make sure all of our information is available.
So actually, this. So actually, this is a great piece we can share as well as a great community resource. So on our chslearn.org website, we actually have 2 blogs. So we blog family programming as well as professionals programming. That is all free, and some great high quality information for both professionals interested in early childhood, social service, working with families, and then on our family side, it's some great free resources for families on information that they may need on raising children.
All
Well,
right.
listen, this is fantastic. Again, thank you all. Thank you for coming on. And let's support the Catherine Hershey Schools because they're supporting us, okay? Hey, see you next time right here on Life Esteem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
That was fun.
That was
That's
fun.
yes.